Maybe she is great.
She is not Miss Universe.
I'm
Gabi, that's Jordan.
Back and I'm like, wow, I really had severe daddy issues. Like red flag, red flag, red flag.
I'm sure, I know I'm the villain in that story. Are we live?
Yeah.
It counted down. You chose not to wear the penis glasses?
Oh, I'll switch.
Yeah, unacceptable. Jordan lost her signature black glasses, so we're waiting on her to get a replacement.
Lose them. I misplaced them.
Regardless.
Somewhere I don't remember.
Regardless, that just means that in the meantime, her sunglass jail is the penis sunglasses. Straight to jail. My nose and my mouth, where are we going? Straight to jail. Anyways, I was telling Kyle I only say straight to jail on this podcast. I never say
I
it.
can't stop saying it.
Straight to jail.
Like everything.
Kyle's like, I only hear you shouting it from this room when you're with Jordan. He's like, I never hear you say it.
Like, I went to Starbucks today, and he was like, we don't have any dairy milk, and I held back from saying straight to jail.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was an experience, and I also waited 15 minutes.
Oh no.
15 minutes.
Hillsborough, Starbucks, get your crap together. Well, welcome to the Z-List Celebrities.
I feel like we haven't filmed in so long.
I know. We went through a hurricane.
Yeah.
Are we going to address that? Should we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was.
We're very fortunate. Jordan took off. She left my ass. She was like, bye, peace. I went.
There is one thing in this world that I am scared of, and I will not fuck with. And it's the ocean. It is the ocean. And you're like, probably, why do you live in Florida? The ocean's cold when you go to the beach. But when it starts doing the spinny shit, nope.
She's out.
No.
I literally, I was trying to convince her and our other friend that they should just come stay at my house. Like, my house is a little bit north. I'm in Tampa. Yeah. I'm not in St. Pete. So I was like, you know what? Come to my house. I wanted like a huge hurricane party. And all of them went, no, you're canceled. Goodbye. We're leaving. And I went, okay then. So I put myself in jail, straight to jail. And I stayed here.
I don't even like thunderstorms really. Like, I can handle them. If it was a tropical storm or like a Cat 1, yes. But the numbers kept climbing. And the line was like straight to Tampa. And I was like,
she was outie.
I'm gonna leave.
She was
But
outie.
you know what's crazy is like it wasn't supposed to hit South Carolina. So we went to Charleston because Matt's brother lives there, so we got to see him. My grandma lives close by. And all of a sudden it started to like shift south and go towards Orlando. And then it was like coming up, and she texted me, she was like, so what's your plan? I was like, we're leaving. What do you mean? We're coming home.
I was laughing so hard because I went, Kyle, you know what's gonna happen is they all left Tampa. Not laughing because it's not funny, but I was like, you know, they all left Tampa. Our good friend also went down to Naples. And I was like, it's going to hit Naples or it's going to go up the other way and it's going to hit Charleston.
Yeah.
I was like, knowing that they left so early, I was like, no, it's going to hit one of them. It's not going to hit us. Yeah. And Tampa is very fortunate. We did not get hit. I was the only neighborhood on the block that kept power, which was incredible. I'm super impressed.
My power's still going in and out.
I don't understand how our neighborhood kept power because if you walk down our street, you see all the trees. Oh, those wires are intertwined in them. Only tree that came down was we have a huge one in our backyard that's like about to it's up. But not really bad damage, just really a lot of debris.
How is Bobo?
Bobo's leaking pretty bad. We're going to have to reevaluate that. I'm going to take her off the market for a little until we figure it out. But so Bobo could be doing better, which isn't great. But Bobo's my van for those of you that don't know. I'm sure we'll talk about Bobo in the future. But yeah, so I rent that van out. And right now I feel like I need to take a step back and fix that up. But otherwise, hurricane-wise, we did well over here. I feel terrible for the people in Fort Myers and Naples and that whole area. The footage is just horrendous. I will say it was so interesting to talk to people, and you know, my gut was just telling me it wasn't going to hit Tampa. I was like, I'm not going to leave. I don't think it's hitting Tampa. Yeah. We haven't had one, for the history of people that don't know Tampa well. We haven't had a hurricane since 1921. And I kind of like took from the internet. I was like, I want to know opinions. Why do you think that is? And some of the opinions I got were so cool. Like, I got that the reason the pirates here, because we're a big pirate city, they knew to hide their treasure in the bay because they claimed that like the sandbars protected the bay so there would never be storms. I've
That's
heard things
cool.
about like electromagnetic waves like in our system that protect the bay. And then of course my favorite is everybody talks about the Indian
Yeah,
burial
yeah,
ground or the fact that the Seminole Indians, which are very prominent here, blessed the bay to be protected from all types of weather and evil for the rest of existence. So I think that's so
yeah.
cool, and not to be hippy dippy witchy, but like I kind of believe it.
Oh, I believe it too.
I
A
just
thousand percent.
like St. Pete is another story because you've got the other side of St. Pete, but I think that bay
Yeah,
is just like so honed in and protected. Like
yeah.
we even had the hurricane, what was it, 2018, that it like swiped right past us and went straight up to Panama City. Was that 2018 or that
I
was
don't know. I didn't live here then.
it might have been 2020. There was another one that
I was
came
here in
and
2020.
it hit the panhandle. It was supposed to hit us and it hit the panhandle.
It
Maybe
had
it's
to have, yeah, it
2018.
had to be before 2020 because
But
that's when I moved
it's just
here.
crazy. We just don't have that problem here.
Yeah,
Very lucky. If you're gonna live in Florida, live there. Live
yeah,
here. Here. Don't
yeah.
actually don't move here. We
Agreed.
have really
Stop
bad
coming.
hurricanes.
It's
Don't
really
move here.
expensive. Apartments are like 5 grand a month. Please stop.
The less of you that come, the
Go
more likely we can buy
to go to
houses.
Orlando.
Go to Universal.
They have what else do they have? They have so much. Just go there.
They also have high crime.
Yeah, go to Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's a fun time if you've never been.
Anywhere but here.
Yeah, stop coming here. Well, anyways, if you can donate, donate. There's tons of donation spots set up around Tampa and probably all of Florida.
And I know by the time this
Yeah,
airs, I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping everybody's donating right now so that
yeah,
this won't even be an issue and you won't have to
yeah.
donate. There'll be nothing to donate to anymore. Everybody will be rebuilding, everybody will have new things. But
Hopefully,
I
yes.
think we can use this as a reminder for all natural disasters that it's really important to support your communities. If you're not in that community and you can still support and you have the finances to do that, that's awesome. I took a giant bag of clothes down yesterday
Yeah,
because although it's like not the focus right now, I know the focus right now is food and water and power. I know eventually people are gonna have to sit with the fact that all their belongings are gone. So clothes are a great one, especially your stylish ladies out there.
toiletries. Yeah,
Give those nice clothes that you wear once and then I know you never wear again. Give
I
them
gave
up.
a ton of my Lily Pulitzer clothes, so I'm sorry for whoever receives those.
We did spend a whole week last week shitting on Lily Pulitzer, so sorry to everybody out there, but um anyways, should we get to story?
Yes,
Okay.
you are telling a
It's
story.
the beta fish story today. Should I go first?
Cute fish flying across the screen. I need to take these off. I'll put I'll put these in
Okay.
my head.
So, should I start?
Yes.
Okay, the beta fish story. This one I'm going to dedicate this podcast episode to not only sushi, but also
As a whole, just sushi.
also, Maddie Mason, if you're out there and you're listening, which you better be because you're my best childhood friend, and if you don't listen to my podcast, like literally, what kind of friend are you? Anyways,
Should we just title this Maddie, please listen?
Maddie Mason, this is for you. She's a little vagabond like I used to be, and now I'm all like old and settled down, I guess. But she is right now currently, I think, in the south of France on a
Oh,
yacht because she works yacht life, which she hates.
oh,
So if she were here, she would tell me to tell you guys, don't work on a yacht.
do you know how bad I used to want to do that?
Don't do it. She hates it.
Why does she hate it?
I don't know. The hours are terrible. She hardly
Oh,
gets days off. Like
well,
it's I don't know. We'll have her on the
yeah.
podcast. She's such an interesting human being.
There's a lot of
You need to
questions
talk.
about that.
We could do a whole yacht because like basically she lives the real life below
Below
deck.
deck, yeah.
That's like her life. So she's in France right now. So odds she does listen to this are very low. I think she'll be back for the holidays. So like maybe
So,
she'll
yay.
maybe we can have her on. She needs to come visit. But so this is dedicated to her and you'll see why. So I think we were about 14, 13, and it was my birthday.
Okay.
And Maddie brought me a beta fish as a birthday present. Really original, fresh, new, funky. No one was giving me fish.
Fun and fresh.
Fun and fresh and funky. Funky because what was going on in that tank. So basically, actually, it wasn't even a tank. She brought me like one of those glass jar containers
Okay. Wait, yeah.
and put the fish in it. And like,
At least she didn't give it to you in a bag. I'm thinking she like showed up at your house with like Finding Nemo child, like
mm,
with the bag. Like, here you go.
Dory? Um, no, or Darla, not Dory. It's Darla.
Darla. Oh, God bless Darla.
I should be Darla for Halloween. Oh, too bad we already have we have our Halloween costume. I think we talked
Could
about that
you
last time.
imagine?
Me as Darla? I could with the red hair,
Oh, yes, actually.
the
Okay.
glasses. Okay, focus. We're focused. So beta fish. Um, so yeah, so she brings me this beta fish in this
Okay.
little glass bowl. I think
Okay.
she was trying to be artsy, like no fish tank, not like the like aquarium things we all had as
Yeah.
kids. It was like this is like a classy adult bowl. You're an adult.
Adult.
You now have a kid to take care of. You're now a mom. So I got this fish, beautiful, blue, beautiful,
Okay.
gorgeous, and I named it Sushi. Okay. His name is Sushi. Now she did hand to me with that the receipt to the beta fish because they actually apparently have a warranty on them. This was important.
Okay.
It's a good thing she did that. I don't, they must have said something to her like, oh, maybe they knew it was a bad batch.
Like
I
a
don't know.
gift receipt.
Yeah, it was like a gift receipt. So you could return the fish if you wanted, whatever. On there it says you have 45 days if the fish dies, if it falls ill, anything like
That
that,
is
to
a
get
lot.
another. 45 days, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had sushi. I had sushi for maybe like 4 or 5 days. Sushi bottom up. He's dead. He dead. He
R.I.P.
dead. So I go back to in our city it's PetSmart, not Petco. I know there's both.
You didn't have both because we had both.
We had both, but the one that she bought it from and the one that I went to and like is the moral of this story was
Okay.
PetSmart.
Okay. At PetSmart.
So it's right next to our Target in Colorado Springs. It's important
Okay.
because, you go to PetSmart and then you go to Target and then you go look at the puppies and then you go back to Target. It's a nasty cycle. Anyway,
I was gonna say I don't have that problem.
so it died and I
Okay.
decided I'm gonna go return it and get a new one because I have that 45-day warranty.
Okay.
So lo and behold, I come home with Sushi Squared. I wasn't creative. I was 14. I thought, actually, no, I thought I was funny as shit. I was like, Sushi
Sushi squared.
Squared. I was like, wow, so original. Super cute. So we had Sushi Squared. I think Sushi Squared made it like a little longer, like maybe 10 days.
Okay.
And then belly up. Belly up. So it's like, well, I gotta go get another.
What?
Cute, sushi cute. Get it? Sushi cute, like to the third power. Also, as a 14-year-old, I had to do research to figure out what the third power was called, but it's sushi cute. Guess I didn't know. So I got sushi cute,
Oh my
and then that one died too. That one lasted even less. Well, lo and behold, I do this until I get to sushi to the sixth power.
gosh. Shut up. No
I
way.
couldn't figure out why they were dying. I was like, this is the one. We'll figure out what's wrong. I was changing like the dosage of like drops that were going into the water because you know how they have those drops and everything. We were trying to
Yes.
figure out what the fuck was wrong. Could not for the
Oh
life of
my
me figure out what was
God.
wrong. And so I go back to the PetSmart after the sixth one dies, and the lady calls over. She's like, "Let me call over my
Yeah.
manager." She calls over the manager, and she's like, the manager kind of looks at me. I'm 14. Let's remember that. I'm not like some 20-year-old. I mean, maybe I looked mature. I don't know. I feel like none of
Maybe,
us
yeah.
looked mature at that age. I will say, like, the teenagers now look like
Oh
mini
my God.
adults, but I looked like a
Yeah.
14-year-old. And the lady starts giving me a ton of attitude, and she's like, "Yeah, you're not allowed to buy beta fish from our establishment anymore." And 14-year-old me is like, "What? Like, what did I do? I feel like I'm in trouble, which I am in trouble." And she actually like writes down my name and like takes the receipt and rips it up, and she's like, "Yeah, you're not allowed to buy beta fish from our establishment anymore because we believe that you are fighting the beta fish." And I went, "Excuse me, what?"
What?
Because, and you can YouTube it, it's actually highly illegal. People fight beta fish and it's super illegal because like they don't get along. They like there's a reason when you go to Petco or PetSmart, they have all the jars with them individually. It's because they'll fight and eat each other. Well, these people thought I was fighting my beta fish. Like I was coming in for new ones and then fighting them.
To be a fly on the wall when that lady said that to 14-year-old you, just to see your like facial expression,
I
I was
was
like,
like,
what?
I'm sure I like, I honestly, I think I blacked out. I don't really remember. But I
So
think I was
traumatic.
like, wait, really? Like, you believe And they wrote down my name and everything, and they told me basically like anytime I tried to buy a fish at PetSmart again, it that I'm sure it's actually for
Okay.
she said at any PetSmart, but I'm sure it's probably just like the state of Colorado or anything because I've never had a problem since going into a PetSmart or a Petco. But like if I go to like check out at that PetSmart, they red flag my name.
We need to go.
Is an experiment.
We're
I mean,
going to
I'm hoping
Colorado
after
Springs.
like, a lot of years they're
Not
not
you, beta fish fighter.
it's just super illegal. I'm surprised they didn't report me because I was a 14-year-old girl. But like technically, like if somebody else were doing that, I'm sure they have like a duty to report. It's illegal. I didn't know.
Imagine if you got arrested.
In hindsight, being older and like having done some research on it, I think that one of them was just sick and then I didn't clean the jar well enough and then like the disease just got all the other ones. Because like water carries and holds all those diseases. So if I didn't clean that jar well enough in between the fish, they were just dying from the
Mm,
disease.
yeah, maybe.
But I didn't tell Maddie that until like we were way older because I felt really like bad that I kept killing her presents. She knew that they died, but she didn't know I got as many as I did. She didn't know that like
You got 6.
yeah.
That's a lot of fish.
I've since told her the story. I don't know if she remembers, but here's your reminder, Mads, that I killed your birthday present 6 times. Not once, but 6 times. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's the beta fish story. So I do think I might be banned from buying beta fish in the state of Colorado.
I think we need to test the theory.
Let's go home. Vacay. Vacay.
Yeah,
It's
write it
funny.
down.
Your
Let's
story
go.
is about Colorado too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's funny.
Okay.
I mean, kind of like Colorado. All right, we're gonna do some red flags.
Oh, red flags. Okay.
So I'll read them to you. You tell me your thoughts. So my first red flag: if you don't watch Netflix with the subtitles on.
I love
I
subtitles too.
love subtitles. I can't watch TV now without them. I used to not like them, and then when I started watching TV with the subtitles, maybe I'm
Well, then
old
you
and like I
don't
can't
miss anything.
hear,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. I'm trying to think of if there's ever been somebody that's ever like said, "Hey, let's turn the subtitles off to me." And I know that there is, but I can't pinpoint who it is. It's not Kyle. Kyle doesn't mind subtitles.
I think the girls I lived with in college didn't like them.
Mm. Yeah, it's just weird. I maybe it is because we're getting old. Maybe we can't hear it.
Maybe you know what I want to do is one of those like earwax candles.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Should we
so
do
like
that
get all
on
my
the
earwax.
podcast? You guys want to watch
Next
us do
episode.
earwax? Okay, no, that's a mental note. I got that in there.
Okay.
Okay.
This one, if they don't have Spotify, like if you're an Apple Music person, I don't know about that. Or
I
even
hate
like,
Apple
what
Music.
is the other one?
My dad's an Apple Music person.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud has all of the ones that are like remixes that I like that are on Spotify because like somebody remixed it illegally in their basement. So like I'll
That,
use Spotify for that, or sorry, SoundCloud for
yeah,
that. But otherwise, it's Spotify through and through.
yeah.
Wait, I have such a funny story about Spotify.
Okay. What
Do
is
I tell
it?
it now or do I save it?
Tell me now.
Okay, well, this technically could have fit into our exes category because we're going to do relationship talk next month, but I'm going to do it anyways. So
Should we wait?
we should wait.
Okay, we'll wait.
Sorry, that was really cheesy. I will add that to the schedule.
Yeah, no, I love Spotify. Okay. People who drink Mountain Dew regularly.
Ew, Mountain Dew's disgusting. Absolutely
Biggest
disgusting.
red flag.
Ew.
Like if we go to, if I was not
It's like
married and I
acid.
went on a date and someone ordered a Mountain Dew at the restaurant, I would get up and leave.
It's like drinking like battery
It reminds me
juice.
of like dirty fat. Is that fat phobic? I shouldn't say that. Large men who sit on their couch and play video games and eat hot pockets. Like that's what I think about
Yeah.
when I hear the word Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Well, it's not even coming from a fat standpoint. It's coming from a lazy,
Lazy.
non-productive standpoint.
Yeah,
Because I can think of a couple of scrawny dudes I've seen that sit on the couch
all day.
and
They
just
just
play
have
video
fast
games and have this
metabolisms.
stupid. There's a red flag for you. Men that are obsessed with video games or men that wear headsets. Nope. Straight to jail. You go straight to jail. Also another red flag for me is when they're so committed to like their sports teams that they can't like text you on that day or call you back
Oh
or
yeah,
like
no,
it's
that's
just
weird.
ridiculous. Like
Like
the
I'll
cult
go
like
to a
mentality.
bar and watch the game with you, but like you don't need to pregame the game. You're not on the team.
Yeah. I quite literally if you treat your sport like you're in a cult, then we can't be together because you if you could join the sport that way as a cult, you'd join a real cult, and I have to worry about that. Kyle is a sports guy and loves sports and played sports all of his life, and he's from Bama, so like sports driven dude. But like he's never forced me to watch a sports game, and I appreciate that.
Also, men who like they take fantasy so seriously. Like I get it, if you want to do fantasy, cool. Sometimes I get in on it, but if you take it so seriously where like you can't do anything that day, there's a trophy involved, there's like loser has to like like it gets too much. It's too much.
The
Stop.
most we do is my family. I grew up with a dad who played college basketball.
Yeah.
And my family, we do March Madness brackets,
Oh
and we
yeah.
each put in like $5. Kyle got to participate this year. He's officially part of the family. You know, if you're in on the March Madness bracket, that like you're in. And we get very competitive in the sense that like we just do a lot of shit talking.
Yeah.
But that's the
But
max.
it's March Madness.
Yeah, I have a hoot with that. And I don't even watch the games, but I have the app on my phone
Okay.
and I watch throughout the day so like I
To
can update
see
my
who
bracket.
won. Well, let me tell you, college basketball used to be good. It's not good
Yeah.
anymore. Like,
It's a different vibe now,
yeah.
but that's like the max of my sport abilities. And some girls are sports girls, and those girls you probably don't find this to be a red flag, and that's great. But it's just for me, it's a little excessive. You're in a cult, as my favorite podcasters say, which is true crime. Do you listen to my favorite murder? We'll get you on that. We'll get you on that before we do our crime month. But they're crime and comedy. So it's like a different vibe because like they crack jokes the whole
Okay.
time during like crime stuff, which seems inappropriate, but it's not. It's like really it's good
That's kind of
comedic relief.
funny.
And one of my favorite things they say is like you're in a cult, call your dad. And I feel that way about the MLMs. I feel that way about people that are sports fans. You're in a cult, call your dad. You gotta go. Call your dad. Get out. So that's where we're at.
Okay. We're moving on. Next red flag. If they like their steak well done.
Ew.
I like it like half alive still.
Oh, see, I like
Like
a medium. I like a medium rare.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's there's blood in medium rare.
Yeah. I don't need it too much blood though. Or even I can do like a medium, but I would never
No,
do
I
well
couldn't do
done.
medium. It's like medium rare or like
Rare, rare.
yeah.
Ewy. See, I can't do too bloody. Depends on the type of steak too.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a sick human being. Okay. Next one. When you see your man order a latte or cappuccino and not a black coffee. This one came from Gabby.
Yeah, because a black coffee just screams like you're a man to me.
Do you like a man who's like he can like build you something and like fix something like
Yeah,
with his
have you
hands?
met my boyfriend?
Yeah, they
He
haven't.
he built all of the furniture in our house. He built our bed frame. He built the day bed out there. He built our bar with his bare hands. There was no frame to that. They're not IKEA. Like he went to the Home
Yes.
Depot, bought wood, put it together, nails and everything. I've sat on that bar. That bar's not going down. And then he painted it. He's not only a builder, he's Bob the Builder, but he's also crafty. A true wizard. Can't get anything better. That's my type. My type is blue collar, but not blue collar, if that makes sense.
My type is more. See, I don't want like a girly girl. Like I like a girly man, but I do like when Matt is like full suit and tie and goes to work and like if something's broken, he'll be like, okay, just like let's hire someone to fix it. And I'm like,
That's your love language. Hire somebody to
give me the
fix it.
credit card.
See, I'm with you on that. Like, I love seeing Kyle dress up. And I think that's what I meant by like blue collar, not blue collar. Like, in his work, professional life, not blue collar. Like, he's going out,
Yeah.
he's doing something that, would be considered more high end. But when he comes home, he has no problem like rolling up that suit sleeve and building a bar. It's both. I like both.
But I don't like the men who are like mama's boys.
Oh no. Oh no.
Like
We have a whole
you have to
episode.
call your mom before you do anything or to like ask her something. I'm like, no,
We have a whole
I can't.
episode dedicated to things that give us the ick.
Yeah.
Boys. So we'll talk more about that. But like, yeah, mama's boys give me the ick.
All right.
That's on my
Well,
list.
now I'm telling my story. I need to put on these
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. You're back in jail. Straight to jail.
Um. Okay. I'll have to tell my other flight story another day because that's the reason I don't fly American Airlines. I
Okay.
will not fly American
And you need to
Airlines.
get comfy for this.
Like, I will not. Even if they had a $15 flight across the world, I still would not. Anyway, so this one was Frontier. They
Okay.
were the only ones who had a direct flight from Tampa to Denver.
Okay.
So I flew there, no problems. My flight home was at, I think it was like 8 a.m. So I had to be there at like 7:30 because Denver Airport, I didn't know, was so busy.
It's so busy. It's so big. I mean, that's why my parents, when I was in college, would pay the extra like $200 just to fly me back into Colorado Springs because the airport's so hard to navigate. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's also
So
haunted, which we should put on our conspiracy
I've
list.
heard not haunted. I've heard crazy conspiracies about
Conspiracies, it's
Denver.
cursed.
Yeah, and the tunnels underneath, and like what they're like. I've heard some crazy things. So, anyways, so my flight with Frontier is at like 8. So I have to be there at 7:30. We're in the mountains, and it's like I would say an hour and a half, hour 45 drive.
Okay.
So that puts us leaving at like 5:30. And I'm already jet lagged because I've only been there for 2 days. So I can't even sleep anyway. So I'm up at like 4 a.m., which is 6 a.m. Florida time. I woke up to an email saying your flight has been disturbed or disrupted. Sorry.
I was like, disturbed? Who disturbed the flight? Disturbed it!
Disrupted. And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? So I'm like Googling, what does it mean when my flight gets disrupted? We're in the mountains. The Wi-Fi's not good. I'm like refreshing. I'm like, what does this mean? Like, am I delayed? Can you just say delayed? Like, what is going on? Um, no messages. So in my head, I'm like, this is just giving me bad vibes. I'm going to book a Delta flight. Luckily, Delta had a flight, leaving at 10:30. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. I just need to get home today. And then as I was driving to the airport, I finally refreshed and it was like, your flight's canceled. Like on the app. They did not send me an email. They did not put me on another flight. They just canceled my flight and said, good luck.
Did they refund you?
No. I'm trying to get a refund right now.
They have to refund you.
But what I'm mad about is like 2 hours before that, I upgraded my seat for $100. And I was like, are you kidding? Is this a joke? And guys, log off. You gotta go. I'm on my period. I just got my period. It is day 2 of my period. If you're a girl, day 2 is the worst. I already get my period so bad. So I'm like, I have a super ginormous, extra strength tampon in.
You're cramping.
Yeah, I'm cramping. I have the period underwear on, which are amazing. If you don't have them, go buy them.
Wait, which brand?
Whatever they sell in Target. It's like in a box.
Sponsor us.
It's like in a box. They are lifesavers. I love them. But I'm on my last tampon.
Love.
I am running through Denver Airport, which you guys need to fix this. Every store, none of them have tampons. They all have pads. And I am like, guys, I have like pints.
Okay.
Like we need to
but
sell
weird
tampons.
gross tangent. Weird gross tangent.
Yeah.
After all of my surgery stuff that I had this year with like my cervix, after the surgeries, I couldn't use tampons for like 45 days or something like
Yeah.
that. So I haven't been using tampons and I'm well out of that window now. But I started to think about it and I was like, tampons, like, I know they now like make all natural ones and
Those are the
stuff
ones
like
I use,
that.
yeah.
But no matter what, all of that stuff that's on that, you're putting that inside your body, like even if it's like a natural one, it still collects bacteria from the air and dirt and dust.
Yeah.
And then you're putting that in your body for hours and hours on end. I think it kind of causes some of our hormone issues.
Oh yeah, no, it does. That's why. So when I switched from like the Tampax brand and like whatever the go-to brands are to the cotton ones, I noticed a huge difference. And I
Okay.
feel like if I were comfortable not like getting like putting tampons in anymore, maybe it would be better. But I just can't because my periods are so bad.
Mine are super heavy as well, but I will say I feel like I'm getting used to it. Like I just decided I'm not
Yeah,
going to unless I'm going to the beach or swimming or something,
yeah,
or if I'm wearing a dress that I feel like that's necessary. But I've kind of just committed to like that period week. I'm wearing full on granny panties. I'm wearing
yeah.
sweats or I'm wearing dresses so you can't tell. And like I'm rolling with it, and it actually hasn't been that bad. Now I'm
Okay.
only on like month 2 of that, but like it hasn't been bad.
I don't know.
It's
I
finding
don't
the right
know.
pads too that like cover everything. Because like
Yeah.
if you've got a
I'm
pad that's
telling
a
you,
little,
the underwear, so good.
I need to check into that.
You need to
It's on
buy
my list.
them.
Okay,
They're like the granny panty ones, though,
that's
which
fine. Because like I'm already
they're
doing that anyway.
comfortable,
I'm all
but
about comfort these days. Okay,
yeah.
no more thongs up your butt. I can't do
I'm
it.
either like granny panties or no underwear.
Yeah, like no.
Okay, so I'm just running around Denver airport trying to find a tampon. Nowhere in this airport has tampons. They only have pads. And I'm like, there's no point. I already have the underwear on, like whatever. So where was I? Why did I forget? Okay, so they cancel my
Market.
flight.
Yeah,
They don't put me on a new one. So I bought the Delta flight, which was $411 for seat 30.
love that.
Seat 30 in the middle on my period. I'm like, this is hell. And I forgot my neck pillow. It was terrible. Um, the flight was from Denver to Atlanta, and then I had a layover in Atlanta. Miserable. It was just like I thought I was going to die on this flight. And I've never had a flight like that before. Like I've flown hundreds of times and it's never been like that. So we get to Atlanta, finally Atlanta airport, thank God they had tampons because I was like if I was to get on another flight, like I might lose it. So that was good. I got there.
That was
I
good.
had two beers. Two 24-ounce beers. I am so drunk
I feel like I
because
remember seeing your stories of
I
this.
hadn't eaten all day because I literally had to leave our Airbnb at 5 a.m. to
God.
get to the flight. I wasn't hungry before the flight, and then I was on a 3.5, almost 4 hour flight to Atlanta. So
Oh
I am
no.
trashed. I'm trashed, and I'm alone in the airport. And I'm like, when is this flight taking off? And then I land in Tampa, which was great. And then I slept for I think like 48 hours. It was amazing. But that is not my only terrible flight story. I got stranded in DC by American Airlines. I was trying to get from New York to Tampa,
Okay.
and as soon as we left, so I was not in New York City, Albany, New York. We left, and the pilot comes on and says we have to do an emergency landing, and like I think it was in Baltimore,
Okay.
and we're like, what is going on? And they ran out of gas. The plane ran out of gas, right? So we're like,
How do you not prepare
that's what I'm
for your
saying. Like,
flight?
did they tell us?
What did they do that
Yeah,
whole time that you're like having to wait for
if
them?
you
Like
are a pilot or a flight attendant, please chime in because did they just tell us that and something else was going on?
it could be.
Or did that actually happen?
I feel like if that didn't happen and you were trying to cover something else up, then that means whatever did happen was way worse. Because like,
Yeah.
how embarrassing to be like, we forgot to gas up the
Yeah,
plane. Like,
literally. So we
what?
stop in Baltimore. They gas up the plane. We get stuck on the tarmac for like an hour and a
I
half,
hate that.
right? So at
Like,
this
how do you
point,
not have organization
yeah,
getting out of the airport? They should be used to this by
yeah.
now.
And my layover was in DC. So at this point, I already knew I missed my layover. So did everyone else on the plane. So everyone's pissed. I'm like, I just need to get to Tampa. So I'm at the little American Airlines customer service desk, whatever, outside of the terminal. And the lady is just like, there. I felt so bad for them because they had a line of like probably 150 people. And I'm like, hey, like just trying to get to Tampa. And they're like, yeah, there's no more flights to Tampa until tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, so like, what are you gonna do? Yeah. And she was like, yeah, we can't do anything. The flight tomorrow is like $300. Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, excuse me, what? So I was like, okay, can I get back on a flight to Albany? And she's like, there's no more flights to Albany tonight. And I'm like, okay, is there a flight tomorrow? She goes, yeah, but it's full. This is very important. She told me the flight to Albany was completely booked, full. Okay. So I'm like, okay. At this point, I start crying. And I'm like, I need to go somewhere. I need to go home. I need to go to Tampa. Like, what are we doing? And I am very emotional. And I just started crying. And she brought her manager over. And her manager was like, okay, like, this is what we're going to do. We're gonna put you up in a hotel. They put me in a 5-star hotel. I will not complain about that. It was great. So they put me in the hotel. They gave me food vouchers, two $25 ones. This is very important too to remember. So I leave. They put me on a flight for tomorrow morning to Tampa.
Not charging you, right?
Not charging me.
Okay, good.
Free.
Because, like, that's the other thing, too. I follow this girl on TikTok, and I'm going to have to, like, plug her in this, honestly, because she's a lawyer, and she reads all the fine print on, like, all of these different flight logs and everything.
Yeah.
And then on her TikTok, she relays what you can say to somebody if they're, like, trying to screw you over like that. But legally,
I've
technically,
seen
they
her.
have to, like, if they're bumping you from a flight or if you miss a flight because of another connection that's still their airline, like it'd be different if like you flew Delta and then you're getting on
Yeah.
American. But like if you're flying American through all the way and you miss a flight because of them, technically if you go up to their desk, like they like owe you $100 in food vouchers. They owe you at least a hotel stay if it's going to be the next day.
Yeah.
And then they do owe you another flight. And then there's something to be said for I think they also owe you like inconvenience pay and there's like all these other layers to
Yeah.
it. So like following her is like really helpful. If I got stuck in an airport, I'm gonna pull up her Instagram or her TikTok immediately because like there's so much you can actually get
Yeah.
out of that. But you have to know what to ask for.
So I take the shuttle from the airport to the hotel. My flight the next morning is at like 5 a.m. So I need to be at the airport at like 4:15. Um, I didn't sleep that whole night because I was just like so upset and so anxious. So I leave the airport, I mean, not the airport, the hotel at 4, and I take the shuttle from the hotel to the airport.
Okay.
I'm sitting in the like terminal and there's a like breakfast restaurant that's open. So I go there, I order my food for my food vouchers. As soon as I'm done, I give her them and she scans them or whatever and she says, these don't work. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, is this real? So I go back to the desk. They give me two new vouchers that work. But I
Okay.
was like, what is going on? Like, what is with
Chaotic.
American?
Chaotic.
So then I finish. I'm waiting for my zone to be called to board. And then they're done boarding and they start calling the, what is it called? Like when you stand by. They
Yeah.
start calling the standby people.
You're not on standby.
I'm not. I'm on the flight. So I go up to the desk and I'm like, hey, uh, my ticket, like, you guys didn't call my zone or whatever. And she's looking it up and she's like, you're not on this flight. I was like, huh? And I was like, no. So I tell the girl at the desk the whole story from start to finish of what happened. And she's like, girl, like, this flight is booked up. And I just start bawling. Like, I could not breathe. I was like, I don't know what to do. I just want to go home at this point. This sweet, sweet girl, and I don't know who she is because I didn't get her name, I didn't get her number. She offered to give me her ticket. And I was like, no, I am not taking your ticket. Like, please go on your flight. This is their mistake. Like, I appreciate it, but just get on your flight. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna pray that like you get home or wherever you need to go. And she was like the sweetest. And she was like rubbing my back, and I was like, oh my god, I love you. So
That's
the
the moral of
girl,
the story, actually. Tears
yeah.
get you everywhere.
So
Cry.
the
Just
lady
cry.
was like, so there's not another flight to Tampa today. But I can get you on the flight to Albany in 2 hours. And I was like, I asked them yesterday, if I could get on a flight to Albany, and they said that the flight was booked. And she was like, there are 3 people booked on this flight. And I was like, are you kidding?
So they just fucked you over.
Yeah. So the lady put me on the flight to Albany, and then 2 hours later, I got on the flight back from DC to Albany, and Matt
How
picked me
could
up.
you legally even do that? They just wanted to make it somebody else's problem, like
Yeah,
the next
so
person's.
I called a few days later after I'd calmed down. They gave me tons of flight credit, and I was like, no, literally go fuck yourself. I will never fly with American ever again.
Yeah.
So when I was in New York,
Give me
this
your flight credit. I'll
this
go fly.
it's expired by now. But when I was in New York for the summer,
Hmm.
and then Matt came for the horse Traverse event. When we were coming home, he booked our flights with American, and I didn't know that until we got to the airport. And I'm like, shit. So same kind of situation happened. Is the flight was super super delayed, and we were going to miss our connection.
Wow.
So on the flight, I was like, I don't trust American. I booked a different flight for later, like 2 hours later. And we go up to the desk, and the lady's like, you're not on this flight. And I'm like, you're gonna put us on this flight. So she put us on the flight in like really good seats because we were just super nice to her. That's the key. Be nice to the customer service
Be
people.
nice or cry.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I've never gotten out of anything flight wise unless I cry like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, because not it wasn't, maybe it was American. I was supposed to go and do like a girls' weekend with my mom, and Kyle decided to take the job he has now, which happens to be overseas, 2 days before, or like 3 or 4 days maybe before I was supposed to go to Colorado. And so he took the job and he had to leave literally within 2 days after that, or something like that. No, no, no. It was a week or two after that. So
Yeah.
it was that I was supposed to go to Colorado and then I was going to get home the day he was leaving. So I was losing a week with him, and I had a full panic attack. And I had planned this trip with my mom a while ago, and I had it all booked and I was ready to go. And I get to the airport and my dad calls me and he was like, Gabby, why are you getting on this flight? Go be with Kyle. You have
Yeah.
a week with him. Like, it's fine. Like, just go,
Yeah.
go. And I quite literally, I go up to the front desk because my dad saying that to me, I guess, like, was a little bit of an emotional release for me. I walk up to the front desk lady and I just start sobbing. And she's like, what's wrong? What is it? And I mean, I did white lie a little bit because like people don't understand what Kyle does. They automatically
Yeah.
assume he's military. So I kind of just let that ride. And I was like, he's being deployed, or so I think I said deployed because that's the only thing people understand. Like,
Yeah.
although it's not a deployment, it's like nobody gets what it is
Yeah.
otherwise.
It's hard to explain.
Explaining that to a stranger is just not worth it. I was just like, he's getting deployed. And they immediately like gave me my flight credit back. And they're
Yeah.
like, don't get on it, don't worry. Because I only went up there, I didn't even ask for a flight credit back. I was just like, I want you to be able to let somebody know that if they're on standby, they can have my spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm checked in, but like I'm not getting on the plane. And I've never left the airport while at a gate before, and I walked out of the airport. It was a weird
Yeah.
feeling like leaving the airport. I don't know. It was odd, but she was super nice about it and like gave me
Yeah.
a way to like reclaim the credits. But it's because I cried. She was like,
Yeah.
"Sis, you
You
good?
start crying. They're
Just
like,
cry."
just calm down, whatever you want.
But I think moral of the story actually is American Airlines, get your shit together.
Oh my god, horrible. I will not fly with them. Like,
I've never
I
had a
will not.
problem, but now I'm going to be overly cautious. I'm going to look. I'm
Yeah.
going to check.
It's always delayed. There's always an issue. And the guy next to me had 2 connections. And so at the end, like me and Matt are just sitting there, like, we're good because we changed our ticket. But he's like, my boarding ends in 6 minutes. And I'm like, you better sprint off this plane. So the flight attendants were like, if you have a layover more than 15 minutes or 30 minutes, please stay seated and let these other people go off.
I
So
love when
that
they
was
do
really
that.
nice.
I
Yeah.
will say, actually, scratch that. I say I've never had that problem with American. I just flew American to California for my friend's bachelorette party in Palm
Yeah.
Springs, and I had a connection Phoenix to Palm Springs, and we weren't running late. I don't know what the problem was, but I think that's what pissed me off about American is you know full well I'm booking all the way through to you, and if I have a connection, don't make my connection less than an hour, because what ended up
Yeah.
happening, and this happened at the Dallas airport too on the way back. So now I do actually have beef with American. I didn't even make this connection, but yeah, no. So my flight there, Phoenix, I quite literally had like an hour layover in between, but it ended up like we were a little late, so I had 40 minutes. but then it was all the way
Okay.
across the airport. So I got there with like maybe 10 minutes to spare, and they'd just started boarding. The other one, the Dallas one, I have never ran through an airport like full sprint to the point where I was so hot, sweaty, disgusting,
Yeah.
out of breath. I was the last on the plane.
Oh
They
my
were
God.
closing the door. The woman saw me running and was closing the door, and she's like, do, waiting because she saw me. She knew what I
Yeah.
was running to. I got on that plane, and the flight attendant immediately brought me back a cup of water before we even took off because she was like, you look
Oh my
unwell. I looked
God.
like I was going to pass out. And I remember calling Kyle. I was like, I'm not gonna make this flight. I'm not gonna make this flight. And that was in the Dallas airport.
Yeah.
And it's because they put my connections too close together. And I won't do that again. I had booked that before I got my new credit card. And my new credit card, I get more miles if I book with United or Delta. So I've been using them more. But I
Yeah.
had booked that like maybe back in January because we knew that that was coming up, and I wanted to get ahead of it because Palm Springs to California, anywhere from Florida is expensive. It
Yeah.
was like a $700 flight, so I like wanted to
Oh
just.
my
Palm Springs is expensive, sis. Not it. Not it. I'm done going to Palm Springs. We're
God.
done.
Good
That's
Lord. So,
canceled.
what's your preferred airline?
Spirit.
Wait, Spirit just redid their planes,
I'm
I've
just kidding.
heard.
Did you see the meme during the hurricane where it was like Spirit Airlines paths were going straight through the hurricane? No one else was flying, and Spirit's like straight over the eye. I was like, what?
I wouldn't be surprised,
No,
honestly.
I'll have to find it and send it to you. It's hilarious. But maybe you can pop it in here up in the Um, yes, Spirit Airlines. No, I was just kidding.
No,
But
I know.
I'd love a budget flight, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
I'll do a budget
Yeah.
flight because I do a lot of overseas traveling. Like, when
Yeah.
I'm doing that kind of stuff, I don't care where you put me. I can sleep through anything. I'm
Yeah.
sure that'll change with age. But right now, I'm at a point in life where I can pass out.
Let me
I'm
tell
good.
you, the Allegiant flights from Clearwater Airport to New York,
Good.
so cheap, so fast.
Okay.
I've never had an issue. I love Delta. I will die for Delta. I would. I really would.
I've liked Delta.
But the Allegiant, like if you're looking for a cheap flight from Florida to New York or Florida to one of those upper states,
Allegiant.
Allegiant.
Okay. I like Delta. Delta could sponsor us. We could be good Delta sponsors.
Oh yeah.
Everybody loves Southwest.
No.
I don't get the hype about like pick your seat. Like I don't love that.
Southwest is expensive.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
There's
more than Delta.
Southwest has like a cult following. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
I only fly Southwest. I'm not into that
Like
per se. I've always had good experience with Frontier, but I also spent my whole beginning adult years. The Frontier flights from Arizona to Colorado were really cheap. It was
yeah.
the first credit card my mom ever got me was a Frontier card that was like it was my way to earn credit and earn miles on an airline. So I had always like I still have my Frontier card to this day.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Frontier. Yeah, and I don't mind United. I've never had problems
Yeah.
except for in the past they
I
used to give
don't.
me a ton of crap for like my bags. But now I've gotten to the point where I feel like I'm pretty good at I have this little manipulation tactic. So you know how you get like a carry-on, a personal item, and that's
Yeah.
it. Well, I my personal item is always going to be my backpack, and then like I usually have a duffel, and that's my carry-on or my roller carry-on. Well, I also always have my fanny pack or purse, and they're always like, "Oh my God, you can't have two personal items." But my backpack's always so stuffed that I can't put the fanny pack in the backpack. So I've developed this tactic where I sling the fanny pack onto my back. I put the backpack on, and then I put my hair in front, and you can't see the fanny
Yeah.
pack strap. And then they don't say anything. But they used to give me so much grief of like, well, if it doesn't fit in your backpack, you can't have it. And I'm like, you're annoying. You're annoying.
I need to tell you the story about
There's
my Lululemon fanny pack.
oh no.
Another episode. But yeah, no, I love Delta. They give me free shit. They give me free headphones, a free blanket, free snacks, free alcohol. Like I
Oh,
love
I
Delta.
also have no respect for an airline that makes me pay for a little tiny
A
cup of
water.
wine.
A water.
Water and cup of wine.
You have to pay for water on Frontier and Allegiant.
On Frontier you do?
Hmm.
That must have changed. I haven't taken Frontier in a long time, but I don't remember that from
Maybe
Frontier.
they just don't like me. They're like, you pay for water.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like we have tons of flight stories we could talk about.
Yeah.
We could make that a thing, but
This was a long episode.
this was. Thanks for bearing with us.
Hope you enjoyed.
We'll definitely talk about the Denver airport conspiracy theory though, because
Oh yeah.
love it.
Oh yeah.
I know all about it. That's my neck of the woods. So, in the meantime, have we figured out a sign off?
No, just saying bye.
Bye, guys. I have to pee.